It's November 11th, 2022, and this is the most important lesson you'll ever hear on this channel. Just go get help. So, I want to begin. So, it's November 11th. I always think a lot on November 11th, about how fortunate and lucky I actually am that I didn't have to live in a generation that saw almost everybody that they knew go off to war or have something happen to them that was just atrocious. And I almost always think about my grandpa, who just was a young kid, grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan, moved to middle of nowhere in northern Ontario, and then decided, he was just a young kid, to go away to war. This was the Second World War, and he went off, spent a bunch of time practicing, and then went off to war, and came back. And I remember the man that I knew. He was around for a long time when I was younger, and he was always really distant about things with war. Never talked about it at all. But I also remember growing up with a grandpa that every couple months he'd go on a bender, he'd disappear for 2 to 3 days, maybe even longer, where he would just disappear, and he would be drunk someplace. Somebody would find him and he'd be drunk, drag him home, kind of thing, and then go back to normal, and then he would do that again. And it wasn't until the last few years, maybe it's the last 5 years of him being around, where that didn't happen. My mom, she grew up feeling with just a great distaste for alcohol. She told me all sorts of stories. I also remember somebody that was just, feeling lost. I think that was the big thing. I mean, he was an amazing person, very kind in a lot of different ways. But I just remember, just a family that just felt lost. And I think that's the biggest thing to think about. I think about today, and I think about my life, and I think about the people around me, the PhD students, the graduate students, the professors, and all that kind of stuff that I see. And I see so many similarities with the sort of challenges that they go through. And I think everybody goes through these. It's kind of like the normal life that we all live. That there is a lot of similarities in the sense that you have to sort of battle this academic thing, this just battle life, to be honest, where a lot of what we go through, a lot of graduate students are living below the poverty line for years, that are going through this, and a lot of professors and researchers and all those kind of academic-y folks that are just putting up with like limited amount of resources, the typical kind of crap. And I see so many similarities between this sort of feeling lost and, just repeated, just repeated, just putting up with the battle. And I know that there's it's just a silly comparison between the trauma that people see, but a lot of these problems, a lot of this kind of stuff that you go through and that you see and that you feel, they can be dealt with. and they could be dealt with in much more healthier ways than going on benders where you disappear and just have to leave things, or not being able to work or whatever. I'm just saying, we all go through our battles. We all go through stuff. I go through stuff. Go talk to somebody. And go do healthy things that allow you to deal with these things. It's okay to be open about stuff. Screw it. If people are going to tell you that you're whiners, screw it. If they're going to tell you all this kind of stuff, like, who cares? They're just a bunch of idiots anyways. Talk. Be open about things. Go see people. Go see the people that you need to go see if you're feeling down, and talk. I mean, just do things to make yourself feel better. Do things to make your life better. I mean, it's nuts. You don't have to live like that your whole life, where you go through your entire life because of some stupid moment when something happened to you when you're really young. My grandpa, I mean, his whole life was centered around the couple years that were in the military, and seeing a whole bunch of horrendous crap ruined his life. And, you know, you're going to go see things too that you're going to experience. Not going to be the same extent by any means, but man, just go see people and talk to people. Get help. That's it. There's a lot of people that will be in your corner. Screw the people that will not stick up for you. Screw it. Go do it. Go for walks. Go do all that healthy stuff that everybody knows. It works. Just do it. All right. Lest we forget.